Hey, everybody, welcome back to the You're Not Broken podcast. Really exciting today because we're going to do something unique. I have Marcella and her husband, the Hills, here today to talk about relationships, hormones, treating the couple, and the journey that they've been on. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. This is the first time he's been here, everybody.
Is this your first podcast?
It is.
Yeah.
Welcome. You're doing great.
Thanks for breaking it in.
Well, so whoever wants to start first, who got treated first on the hormone journey, and just to start us off in where the relationship was, if that's easy.
So start with her.
Yeah, I think we'll start. I think going way back in the beginning, our relationship was fueled by sex from the beginning. Let's just start there. And so we've always had a very healthy sexual relationship. And so, what about 5 years ago, it had been years of me having no libido, and it was super.
How long were you guys together before, up until then?
Let's see, we've been married for 14 years.
So 14 years. And so then about 5 years ago.
9 years,
So,
8 years.
Yeah.
8 years into our relationship, things were feeling like I was tired all the time. I didn't feel connected. Just all the regular midlife 7-year itch, I guess, people talk about, where I was finding myself not wanting it, blaming him. We were trying dates. We were having frustrating conversations. I was distancing myself. I was getting a lot of anxiety going to bed, thinking like, how can I stay up late so that he falls asleep and then I don't have to say no, or I don't have to just do it anyway. It got feeling very icky.
Yeah.
I started having a glass of wine once in a while, thinking like maybe that'll just kind of loosen me up. And then I remember him saying, it's kind of shitty that you have to get drunk to want to have sex with me. And me thinking, that's literally what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That is pretty crappy.
Well, it was noticeable, she also stopped giving attention to our daughter. Like just sitting next to her, like if she'd come up sit next to her, she'd be like, and she was very sharp and just like, don't be by me. And her bubble got much bigger. And we know Marcella, her bubble is very small and you can be as much a part of it as you want. But yeah, that was kind of a noticeable thing for me, especially.
How old were you? Do you remember what was 5 years ago? Like perimenopause?
So I think it started way back, like 30. I think 38. This started though, 36, 35, 36.
Okay.
Because it took us many years of no libido before I was like, maybe we should do something. We went to marriage counseling. I was going to say,
what was the first step? Was the first step like therapy?
Yeah, therapy.
Okay. Yeah. And was that useful?
Well,
not to our libido, but no. To conversations and bringing up some things that we hadn't talked about. But it didn't leave me feeling like, yeah, let's get it on. It was not effective for that.
Yep. So then what happened?
Yeah. So let's see. Then what happened? I think I went to the doctor. I finally was talking to some friends. Somebody said, it sounds like you need to go get your hormones checked. I went to just a regular OB, checked my hormones. She came back, said, all your levels look fine. You look good. But I did have a prolapsed uterus. So they recommended I got a partial hysterectomy. And I thought that was going to fix all of my problems.
You did?
Well, they said it. The doctors actually said, oh, you're going to feel so great after this. This is going to be
so
great.
Good. You're not going to go into, it won't affect your hormones because they're going to keep your ovaries. It's going to fix your back pain. It's going to fix all of how you feel. You're probably tired because you hurt.
No way.
And because you hurt, you probably just don't feel like connecting with anyone. So this is going to fix all of your problems. So I got a partial hysterectomy, and then my body, it just felt like was not healing. It felt worse. I kept giving myself more time. Oh, I just need more time to heal. More time. A year went by and I was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I was not showing up to work. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be with people. This was way worse. I remember a whole weekend, and I think I talked about on your last episode, where I just laid in bed all weekend and it just scared the hell out of me. And he wasn't really noticing because I feel like we were super disconnected. So it just
it seemed normal to me.
I was just like,
how did you guys? I probably sound obtuse. How did you guys not get divorced?
Right. Well,
probably because we have a daughter.
Okay.
to be
we have a
honest.
daughter.
Yep.
And this is going to sound ridiculous. I mean, we did go through a phase, and this is going to go through this whole story. But at this point, I finally got a friend who said, go get hormones from a hormone therapist.
Mhm.
So that was last straw. I went in begging for just anything in my body. I get a big, huge dose of testosterone. And at this point, I'm thinking this is over. I'm thinking, and even my hormone therapist said, you're going to find out real quick if it's your hormones or your husband.
Yeah.
Like, okay, give me what we got. And it was about 4 months into it that I was feeling really good, getting all the benefits from testosterone, but still not feeling the zing. And I thought, okay, it's probably our marriage. And it was the second dose of testosterone. So we're talking about the pellets, but
Mhm.
I mean, you can do testosterone in lots of different ways, right?
Mhm.
But about month 4, I remember I left on vacation for myself thinking we're probably going to be separated. I come back and I'll never forget him walking in the door, my body heating up, turning on. And it was like, what? It was like high school where the boy that's walking by the hall like sees you and your whole body zings on. And I thought, there's no, like, I didn't know that could exist in marriage. I didn't know that could exist. Definitely not 13 years into marriage. And it was like, clear the dishes off the counter. Like, let's go, And I didn't know women could feel like that. I thought we needed romance. I thought we needed the dishes done. I thought we needed him to contribute and no laundry on the floor. And I thought it was a thing that we did to fulfill their needs. I didn't know it would be a thing that I was like, let's go. Like, I need this now. And it
could
very
be a
much
shared experience. It doesn't just have to be.
Yeah, it very much
pleasing to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was like my side of the story, but I don't know. What did that feel like for you when it got turned back on?
Yeah, like when were you like, what's
Like,
this?
who the hell is it? What did you do with my wife? Where is she? And but no, I think it was eye-opening to know that it wasn't me,
Yeah.
which then allowed me to kind of like think more into what can I do to adjust. Because I think, like what many have said, it's usually one person is being fixed and not the other.
Mhm.
And so if this is benefiting her, could possibly it benefit me? So then I went through it and I got my hormones checked, and I was at I think 258 was my testosterone level.
Yep.
And I do a lot of work outside, and I feel tired like very quickly and exhausted. And once I got that, started doing those injections, and I shot up. But I mean, it went a little too high. I was about 15, 16, maybe about 15, 1400. And so I was like raging. I felt like that college kid.
Yeah.
And but mellowing it down, then I was able to like just see more things and kind of relate more and understand what things were affecting and how I could benefit her by recognizing those things, and not just go back to my, oh, she's feeling hurt, I got to give her some space. I know she says don't give me space, but as a man, I don't want to disrupt her. I don't want to make her mad. So I'm just going to sit back, which was the detriment to before. So yeah, it was allowing more awareness. So even aside from the fact of having more endurance, more strength, more energy, the fact that I was more aware cognitively was probably the biggest benefit for me, in being like having it be a joint thing.
Because you were, just to clarify, because you were kind of feeling like you had more reserve to like to show up and be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you know about like perimenopause and hormones in women before Marcella went through that?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Now I feel like I know a lot, and I overshare with any woman that I see or man, like talk about it, and they think, who, like, what, how do you know?
Right.
Like,
they're like, how do you know
me this? Yeah. Like, I'm not creeped out. This isn't weird, but thank you for sharing this information. But yeah, now it's like, it's way, way more noticeable, and just seeing family, friends.
Like, enough now where you can like pick it out.
Yeah, but like you can like need to go get your checked. Yeah.
You can pick it out of a crowd. Yeah. Like,
I can wear the vest from Walmart that says, ask me, I can help. So
I
That's
think one
awesome.
thing that's really interesting to know is that when my hormones turned back on and, now I have this libido, I have this drive for life, that very much threw me into this awakening of myself. And one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, they think, oh, let's get on hormones so it fixes my relationship. One thing they don't consider is that when you wake up in midlife and you discover this new version of yourself, it's not the same person that went into this relationship.
Mhm.
And things got very wobbly in a very bizarre way because now I feel so good. I want to play. I want to discover. I want to live life in a way that I had never lived before. And that is not how a relationship had worked up to that point. So
Yes.
last summer, last year I got my own room and we actually went through like a roommate phase. I mean, we were on the brink of getting divorced because I felt so good, but because I felt brand new, because this brand new version of me was not working in this old relationship. And I think one thing that he was talking about is because we both physically felt good, because we physically had energy and the capacity to think, the capacity to have relationship or hard conversations, we could figure stuff out even though it was hard. And we're never going to pretend like we have figured it out, that we have this amazing, perfect marriage that everybody is trying to strive for. But what we can say is we have found the energy and the feeling good in our own bodies to be able to be creative and understanding and see each other and try new things. That is something we have done.
Yeah, it was almost like having to redate, like in a sense, because it was. I mean, a lot of marriages fail, like because the people don't know each other and they're not willing to share or accept criticism. And at this point, like we can be critical to each other, and it's not detrimental to us. It might like set us, okay, I'm gonna rethink this, and I'm gonna do this on my own, or she'll, I need more space over here. So, like she said, it's not instant, fixing everything that's there. It's not a magic drug, but it's the awareness and being able to, recognize we want this and we both want this and we're both willing to put work into it, not just let it roll.
Like it gives you more reserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you show up differently to all your relationships when you feel good.
Mhm.
Like when you
Yeah.
physically feel good
Yeah.
and you have energy, you can fight better, right? Way better because now we understand what role hormones play when I'm feeling crap because I'm low in testosterone. We can recognize what is and what isn't. And that allows us to talk about the things that we have control over. And because we're both physically taking care of ourselves, we kind of rule out the whole hormonal play.
Yeah.
And we can deal with real things.
Like, I won't say therapy was bad, like couples therapy was bad,
Mhm.
but I feel like often you're just taught how to fight for yourself and nothing else, right? So when I know she's low on testosterone, I'm not taking things personally. I know that's just how it's happening right now, and I'm not getting defensive. And that's, kind of for me, when I would go to therapy, that's what I gained from it, was how to be more defensive and just like shoot down everything that's being given to me.
Mhm.
So yeah, more reserve and being able to take those on and just be more grown up, really. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like it
I love that.
increases your maturity,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
because you're not so selfish and you're not so afraid
Mhm.
of somebody not liking you at that moment.
Yeah, totally. Did you have a different experience when you went to the doctor to check your hormone than Marcella did? Like, was it easy for you, or they're like, yeah, let's
Yeah,
just check it?
yeah,
Did you
it
have
was easy, and I did it via telehealth,
okay?
and they walked me through all my labs, and they're like, yeah, this, these are some vitamins. There's what we'll put you on this, and this is kind of what's going to take place. And there was never any like question
Mhm.
of it could be something else. It
Yep.
was it was let's get you help, and we know how to do it. And which I
Ver-
feel like, from what I know now of women's hormones, it's like, yeah, this is what it is, but we're not quite sure exactly what to do for you. I've heard, somewhere that something might help, but I can't recommend that to you. because that doesn't support my
Right.
knowledge.
And you're like, dude, all bodies have hormones.
Everything. Yeah. So
all the humans have hormones.
yeah.
But to that conversation, he has been working with a doctor for like mood, anxiety, and has that doctor ever even once offered
haven't once.
hormones? No. They just
Isn't that
given
crazy?
stabilizers, right?
I mean, it's like the healthcare system's so siloed now. Of like, this is the diabetes person, that's the high blood pressure person, that's the skin person, that's the mood person. Instead of being like, hormones profoundly affect mood. If anybody should understand that, I want the therapists, the psychiatrists, the mental health teams to understand that, because it's not always, but sometimes it's profound.
And you think of like doctors like hundreds of years ago, they're researching on their own for what things might help with their patients. Like they had an overall idea and understanding of what would help, and it's not just this person or a corporation told me to do this and this is all that will help you. And I feel like that's kind of, like you said, it's siloed itself and it's been dissolved.
One thing I've seen a lot, just a side note, but I've seen this more now, and I've been doing medicine for 2 decades at this point, is people really being like, well, we don't have FDA approval.
Yeah.
Like it's very common to hear that now, where in like 15 years of my training, nobody was like, well, let's see what's FDA approved for this. Like it only means one little thing. But doctors relying on kind of this outside catalog as far as what options are, instead of being like, I have a human in front of me who's suffering. I don't know what's going to help, but I want to figure it out with you.
Yeah.
Like we've kind of lost that.
Yeah.
This is like a question for you, actually. I was talking to a guy who was super concerned about his wife, found out what I did, and then referred his wife to hormone therapy. She got on hormone therapy, starts feeling really good. And he reached back out to me and he said, I'm so excited for her to feel good and to figure this out. Is there a therapist, like a couples therapist, that understands the changes we're about to go through, that can walk us through this together as a couple? And I was like, there should be. Shouldn't be able to give you an answer, but I have
that's
no
amazing.
idea.
Well, so in I like, to me, I'm like, God, I hate to give two thoughts. There isn't like an organization where you can be like, these people are aware, right? Like, so there should be. Now there's the secret sauce, I think, is the couples relationship therapist people who understand sex and who understand menopause. It's like a 3 Venn diagram circle. It's like those people. I have one in my town, and she's basically a marriage couple therapist who specializes in perimenopause and menopause.
Amazing.
So like just the hormone conversation just happens so much earlier in the conversation than like, well, last when everything else has been tried, have you checked your hormones? Of like, let's move that a couple of paces up front, because what do you guys think when, especially with testosterone in women? Because I think in men, testosterone is understood as helping many things.
Right.
Even if we don't have an FDA approval for all those things, but it helps many things. And I just think people understand that in men more. In women, it's really put in a corner of like, this is only for libido. But Marcella, did only your libido get better?
Oh, no. I had been on testosterone for 4 months before my libido finally turned back on. And in those 4 months, my body went from hurting all the time to going to a chiropractor every week that wasn't working and a physical therapist for my shoulder to having no pain in my body. I could run again. I had stopped running, stopped going for long walks, stopped going to the gym. I was just trying to maintain and felt like I was slowly dying and suddenly waking up in an 80-year-old's body where I'm going to therapy, I'm taking ibuprofen. I'm doing all these things because my body is just in pain. So pain was gone. Itchiness. I had no idea. I had been itching my legs every night for years and years and years. I thought, drink more water. I'm in a dry climate. I should try new
right.
Maybe it's whatever.
Just your zip code.
Yeah, it's my zip code. And I didn't even know that itchiness was a symptom. That wasn't on the list. Even when I went to my hormone therapist, itchiness wasn't, I didn't know. And I had told a woman about hormone therapy and how it helped me sleep, helped me, my body not hurt, helped my libido turn on. And she said, oh my gosh, the thing that helped me the most was the itchiness in my ear. I had been years of trying to figure out what was wrong with my ears. And as soon as I started on hormones and balanced everything out, all of a sudden, no more ringing in her ears, no more itchiness. And I was like, what? And then I backtracked and thought, I haven't been itching my legs. And my scalp had gotten dry and flaky, and it felt like overnight. Like, what is happening? I was switching out my shampoo. My scalp wasn't dry and flaky anymore. I mean, it's helped my skin, my bones, all of it.
One thing I noticed was her memory, because she was always concerned because her grandma has like
my grandma has dementia.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, she's like, I need to take this, and I need to take this, and I need to take this. And then afterwards, it's like over time, there was no more. I need to take this. It was like it was just kind of refiring, you know. And I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah,
it's a thing. And thank you for bringing it up, because
I remember my PIN numbers, right?
Yeah.
If someone tells me something right here, I can remember it from this to the computer screen. Whereas before,
literally text.
Remember
always. What's the password for this? What's our password for this? Always.
I don't do that anymore.
That's thank you so much for bringing that up. I'm convinced, and a couple other people who are in the testosterone kind of expert world are convinced that this is neuroprotective. And the thing is, like, it's a very bold statement for me to be like, testosterone is going to prevent dementia. Like, but we do have that data in men. Men with low testosterone who are untreated have a higher risk of both depression and dementia than men with normal testosterone. So it's like, it's not crazy because we already have the male data. Yeah. And if you want to sit around and wait for a 20-year study to finally prove that testosterone is going to prevent dementia, sorry, it's not, that study's not going to happen. Like, we just have to hear people's stories and be like, your brain's ability to function better is dementia prevention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all I know is dementia runs my family. So if I do nothing, I will probably get dementia. That is my likelihood. So my thing is, well, the testosterone right now is making it so my body doesn't hurt, so I can actually function and live right now. That's all I know. If it has that benefit, then I am doing something more than what my family has done in the past to prevent it. If I still get it, I still get it, but I am doing the only thing that I am aware of that says it helps.
Yeah. And exercise. Which you can do because you're on testosterone.
Yes.
Right? Because you don't hurt. Right? So like the hormones allow you to do two dementia preventing things. I think the other good point that you bring up is that libido doesn't come back right away. Like, it's common for women to be like, and then in month 4, the humans started looking attractive.
They started liking men without shirts on. You're right.
Yeah. Like, when did men get good looking again? Oh yeah, well, around month 4 to 6. Like,
so much in play for women and libido and sex. I mean, when my libido turned on, was that fun? But I also had to deal with the shame. I didn't know that I was still dealing with an immense amount of sexual shame. I didn't know that when I got horny and wanted to have it, that I felt like a hooker. I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know what that felt like to have me want it.
What helped you process that? Books or therapy or just like books?
I forced myself, this sounds so ridiculous, but I forced myself to listen to podcasts that were extremely uncomfortable, and some audio porn and things that really challenged that shame in me, where she would listen to the podcast and go, oh my gosh, we can't listen to that. And I'm like, oh, we're listening to that. Like, we're going to dig this shit out so that we don't feel shame. And why do we feel like that? Why can't we watch a show like this or listen to something like this without judging it and feeling crappy? Why I listened to this really kind of silly book that is called Living an Orgasmic Life. And it helped me reform orgasm, understand the benefits of it, understand that orgasm isn't just this sexual thing. It's kind of your mojo. It's your bounce in your step. It's humming to music. It's wanting to turn the windows down and have the wind blow in your hair and scream at the top of your lungs your favorite song. I didn't know that it was turning on like my fire, my wanting, my desire, your passion. And I always tell women in my audience, like, you deserve to feel turned on instead of wanting to just turn your libido on to pleasure somebody else. I mean, I think women in general have been taught that our bodies are for someone else's pleasure. It's for someone to look at. It's for someone to use. You know, men have needs, so we're supposed to supply that need.
Well, yeah, and then other people get to judge you based upon how sexy you are, or how available you are, or like it's a big judgment thing. I think
one thing that keeps coming up in my videos is I'll be talking about this and men will overwhelmingly say, just leave, get a younger girlfriend. What's in it for us? Why should we have to endure this? And I think that's one thing I wanted to bring up here, because I mean, you can speak to it, but the way I show up in bed or sexually is completely different now, being in midlife and wanting it, than what it was before. And maybe, I mean, as a man, you can say, like, what is in it for the men? Why should they stick around? Is it better?
Yeah. 1,000%. Well, I think the better, I mean, there's always going to be men that are they just want pleasure, right? That's all they want. But I think those that can see like their wife or their partner, or increase in their enjoyment of themselves and the moment, it makes me want to think less about me and more about her. So most of my effort is going towards her and not me. So rather than, oh, I'm gonna finish and then roll over and fall asleep, it's opposite. Like, and I don't have to complete anything as long as she's taken care of. That's now my enjoyment. So it's like, no, it's not just a thing. It's not, I'm not using her for my needs. It's, she can now have needs, and she can use me all she wants.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. But kind of what I'm saying.
I feel like a goddess now, like this whole pleasurable sexual goddess, rather than someone that's being used and that I'm giving something up.
Right. Well, I think, we don't talk about the man's perspective in heterosexual relationships a lot, and I think what you were saying, but please clarify if I'm wrong, is a man's enjoyment involves seeing their partner be very turned on and like it and want it. And I think that women don't know that. Like we don't get that. And I think, when we say it, guys are like, yeah, obviously. And I'm like, no, not obviously. Like, otherwise we would know that.
Yeah. Because I mean, she's like, oh no, let's do this first, or like, you haven't been taken care of. And it wasn't like until later she could realize that is my enjoyment, and I did it. We were together and doing it together, and it doesn't have to be checkbox this and now I'm good. It's just, it can be both, and it can, we do get enjoyment from the women having their enjoyment and their time and their excitement and getting pleasure from it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that people don't understand, and again, please correct me, I only live in one body, but it's that men will, I don't want to say put up, but like, men will show up for pleasure for them with a partner that's showing up for them, like,
right.
But there is a different experience that might be more pleasurable for everybody, is like when everybody's showing up with equal like enjoyment and excitement to be there and like into each other's experience, instead of like, I kind of know my partner's just showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've explored my sexuality and my sexual energy and asked myself, what do I like and what do I want? We have added experiences into our relationship that he would have never experienced. And I've been able to add that to us because of what I want. And it's made it an experience that is fun for me. And it kind of extends even beyond our relationship. It goes into more intimate relationships with friends, more intimate experiences, just going out, wanting to connect with people.
It's like a confidence in life.
Yeah.
Just like, I got this part, that's good. So like, I get to, show up and go do this other stuff. Because like this, like not primal, but like this basic need is like so wonderfully fulfilled that you're like, okay,
Yeah.
the Pavlovian triangle of needs
Yeah.
or something. I think, I mean, give me your opinion, but it's like how your relationship now is, and you're probably not communicating this with your daughter, but it's like she's seeing different roles happening now of like these people who are like, they've got energy, they've loved life, they're into each other. Like you guys are showing up in a way for her that she's probably experiencing a different, like, this is what a relationship is. Have you guys ever thought about like how we
We're
look?
about sharing it with her, and I feel like we just went to this
Last night.
ecstatic dancing thing, which was
Totally new.
crazy hippie thing, but it was
What's ecstatic dancing?
It's like
You're with, think of like people just moving to the music. So people are just flowing and moving. There's no talking. There are no phones. It's kind of clubby, but everyone's just like dancing silly. Think of a 70-year-old just skipping around. You're like free
doing
love
whatever.
hippie.
Yeah, but kids, like whole
Kids can
families are
come.
there. Like, so
Okay.
it's just whatever. And I noticed, like, and I do not participate in things like this, but I was like moving around and whatnot. But our daughter was like kind of recluse and just kind of quiet and like, no, like not doing it. Where I feel like she's kind of in the transition. Like even our kids should have an ability to know what's changing and what energies are changing, because she's now like been set in this lifestyle of we don't do much, we just kind of chill, we just do this, and now it's like something different. So now it's new for her as well. So to incorporate her into it, and that was just noticeable just from last night in and of itself, because she's a dancer and she loves to do these things. But to get out in front of other people, that used to be me as a like don't do anything, and so that's kind of like an overtime hormone change and changing the balance of your mind to be like, oh yeah, I'm more confident in this, I'm more comfortable in this. It's sometimes I'll still get anxiety, but that goes away a lot faster now than it did before.
I mean, we have passion in our home, right? I mean, passion has started with me turning my passion on, being excited about life. It's moved over to him. It's moved over to our daughter. I mean, last night we stood in ecstatic dancing with weird people, fun people, and the three of us as a unit danced silly. And that, we don't associate libido with going and being silly and dancing, but that is what I have come to understand. Like when I am turned on and I have passion and desire, it flows over to wanting my family to come to a dance class where we can express ourselves.
Yep.
And
It's
that's
just
something we're not putting those two together.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's just so much like what I'm hearing is like you guys becoming the best versions of yourselves. And then from that, you create a platform that then you want the best version of your daughter, and you want the best version for the relationship. And it's like, it's just like this, trickle or snowball effect that just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying so hard to make sure that you stay in a marriage, like that, as if that's the goal. And I think our understanding of it's almost like marriage is obsolete at this point. We are now, the goal is everyone understand feelings, everyone understand how to feel feelings, express feelings, feel comfortable, confident, have the space to explore and interact and live in this land of human the way that is best for us, and allow flow and inspiration and love and relationships. And it just feels safer and it feels more honest. I feel like I live in the level of honesty in our relationship is something I never understood could exist in a relationship. And the expansiveness of what we can include in our experiences can exist in this relationship now. And it feels it's like you went from a little tiny box of like, this is what a marriage is and this is what a good marriage is, to this huge container of this is our relationship, and it can move and flow and come in and out. And that is a way better place. You can breathe so much better.
Oh, I think it's so helpful for people because, if we're like, hey, go get treated with hormones so your sex life is better, that's kind of an understatement
Yeah.
of like
Mhm.
what's possible. And at the same time, people who think that testosterone is just a magic bullet of like, it helps a lot, but like you guys clearly still have done a lot of work
Yeah.
and wanted to try to communicate better, to try to like, it's not a magic bullet, but it
It's
can
almost
even be better.
It's like an
Yeah.
igniter. Like your water
Ah,
heater's
It's
not
like
going to heat your water
don't.
until you turn the pilot light on, and then it's going to ignite. But you still have something has to physically turn on your pilot light, and then it will ignite because of what's in you. And I think something that she just said of like libido is it's like we have passion, and I think it could literally be changed to I need to fix my libido to I need to restore my passion because
mhm, mhm,
when we first dated, I wasn't on SSRIs, and I was like thinking ahead, and I want to do things, I want this and this, and then I got on those, and then it kind of like erased that
mhm,
almost where
mhm.
there's like eliminating passion,
Yep.
and still libido, it's always there, but the passion was gone. And then, reducing those and adding in hormone therapy increased passion. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I can be mad at stuff. I can like have an opinion and disagree with something, not just be in a zombie state.
Yep.
So I think, I really think, and like with our kids, like getting the passion, like they can have passion for anything. And if they lose that passion, then that's when you start to decline.
Yes. I love it. I mean, it's a whole different way of thinking about living
Mm.
that I don't think is brought up enough of like, and who's going to go to their doctor and be like, I've lost my passion for life. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like this kind of stigma, but when you talk about it, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah. I mean, well, the irony is they're going to put you on something that will eliminate,
It'll make stop you
Eliminate.
complaining
Yeah.
about
stop you
not feeling
complaining about not
passion.
having passion rather than, okay,
Right,
here's
right.
your,
At least you don't care that you don't have passion.
yeah, yeah. And,
Right.
and
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah.
not a blank, not as in a blanket statement, because there's doctors who are, aware,
Yeah.
as but, for the most part, it's going to be like that. We'll experience the same thing that women feel when they go to their gynecologist. They're like, oh yeah, you're totally fine. Just
Hmm.
go drink wine. You're
Yeah.
good.
Everyone,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's looking for happiness, and I have stopped telling our kids things like, "I just want you to be happy," because now my idea is when you turn yourself. I mean, I've lived it. When you turn yourself on, happiness is not just the only emotion that comes, right? Like when you turn yourself back on, you are passionate. You can fight louder. You can stand up for yourself. You can advocate more, and
Mhm.
I get freaked out when our house kind of goes numb, when there isn't a lot of emotion at all. I want our daughter to express fear and sadness. I have had to train myself that I'm allowed to cry standing in the kitchen. I don't have to go
Mhm.
hide away. And
Mhm.
all of that is contained in the idea of living turned on,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
going to have emotions. And I think when you turn yourself on with testosterone, you have to know that it comes with all the things, not just this amazing sex life, right? It also comes with the ability to argue better and be passionate about all of the things in all the ways. And so then it's going to challenge you to learn how to feel feelings.
I think
And
that the time
that's
is ripe because I mean the data currently says that 25% of midlife women are on antidepressants. And I fully understand some of them do need to be on that, but I also understand there's a lot of people who say, I don't think this is the answer. I think there's something else and there's a different way. And so I just think like in the zeitgeist, we might be at this point where people are waking up to being like, is the 25% of people on antidepressants, that can't be the solution for everybody. As like, this is as good as it gets to be.
Mm-hmm.
it's scary to feel feelings when we don't know how, right? I mean, this is a conversation we have a lot with our daughter because we recognize we didn't know how to feel feelings. And now
Mhm.
all of us, for the 40-year-old in the house and the 10-year-old in the house are now learning to not be afraid of sadness,
Right.
and what does a sad day look like? And how do we do that? And what does a happy day look like? And when does a reclusive day when we don't want to be with people, what does that look like without being mean?
Mhm.
Right. And I think that is going to come in with women turning themselves back on is having to learn how to feel feelings and express ourselves and not be afraid of them.
Do you think that testosterone, for one or both of you, do you think it made you feel more feelings, or it gave you more resilience to then do the work to feel the feelings? Like, how would you tie in testosterone therapy and like the vivid life of having a life with feelings and being able to manage that?
Yeah.
I think for me, I think it was like I mentioned before, it's kind of like the starter. It's what allowed me to feel good and then to recognize other things in my life aren't good, right? So because I was focused on one thing. It's when if your arm's broken, it's sometimes hard to see maybe something else is wrong with you. All you're feeling is your broken arm, and so when that's healed, then you're like, oh, well, I also have arthritis. Okay, so let's take care of that, and then let's take care of this. But it's all started because of one thing, and taking that, and you yourself are going for it, so that increases the, I guess, healing process in me anyway, is because it was something I chose and not something somebody told me to do or put me on. And so there's just more of an internal desire to do something
Yes.
more rather than, oh, my doctor said I need to do this, and I don't want to be told what to do again, or like my wife's telling me to do this, and I'm just being told what to do. Whereas I recognize this, I need to do it. It's much more of a benefit to you when it's accomplished and when you reach the goal and you just feel fantastic.
Yeah,
It,
the
it turned
self-advocacy.
Yes, yes.
And this is crazy because I've never heard him tell that. And because I run this global community in the Wake Her Up community, there are women that will get on hormones. They're turning themselves back on. And then they will come and say, well, great. Now I have this. Now I have this. Now I have this, as if the hormones caused it. And my take on this and seeing it in a global thing is that, no, I don't think it's causing it. I think you're now being able to listen to your body. Now you're recognizing, I might have a gut health situation that you were never able to pay any attention to because you weren't listening to your body. You were seriously checked out. You were feeling dead inside. You were trying to just survive and being totally separate from your body. And now you're dropping into your body. Your body's turning back on. It's going to tell you what's going on. And you're going to think that these things caused it. And I kind of say a majority of people are now just more aware. And for me, it definitely has turned feelings on. I can cry now. Before, I could not cry. And when I cry, there are friends that I text. I'm like, tears came out to me, like high five. And there are a lot of women in the Wake Her Up community that will express, I cried today. I think I'm turning back on. That's a good sign.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, we got to wrap it up, but I want hot takes for other couples who might be thinking about navigating this. What advice would you have for them?
Patience. It's not going to be
Nice.
like you'll have some fantastic, and then just like we were talking about, something else is going to come in. But you know, if you're in for the long haul and you both want to do it, then like you're going to have some hard times again, and then it's just going to shoot back up because you've overcome that, and then come back down, and it's not going to be roses every single day. You're going to find some thorns, and then you just prune the bush and more roses grow.
Keep going.
Prune the
Oh,
bush.
that's
Some more
great though,
roses will grow. Like,
because I thank you for saying patience, because I'm like, I think they're going to look at you and Marcella and be like, I want that now.
oh yeah,
And they don't understand like the years that led up to this conversation.
Yeah.
We use a word in our family a lot called, when we say float, right? We're here for the ride. We are here for the ride. And there is going to be times where you're screaming, times when you're laughing, times when you want off the ride, times when the ride is the best thing that ever happened, and times when you are so dizzy from being on the ride. But we're on it. We're floating. We're here for the whole thing, and we're trusting the process. And the other thing is, get your freaking hormones checked, both of you. Get them checked. Don't know what's going on in your body. Try some things. I think, we've done this for a few years now. You're not going to just run in, get testosterone, and a few months later, your story is not going to be my story. You have to start listening to your body. You have to start paying attention. And I think overall, I hope what people walk away with is that you matter individually. You matter. And that nobody's body is for someone else's pleasure. And that your pleasure is for you and you deserve to feel turned on. And when you do, that is what actually fixes things. Not going and fixing this, but you turning yourself on and being able to participate in your life with your way of passion, your way of joy, your way of feeling feelings is the thing that most people, I mean, that is the thing that's missing.
I just think, you know, like the immense privilege we have that we actually have hormones.
Right. We can
Like,
actually adjust it.
We
We
can actually do something about it, because it's like, you know, 100 years ago we didn't have that, and furthermore, you weren't going to live much past 50. Like, and now we're like, dude, we have this incredible gift of living long and optimizing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
And I
doubling
think,
your life.
yeah, and people don't understand, like, oh, I can opt in, and like, oh my, like the generations past didn't have this as an option. Like, you're just gonna drink alcohol and be miserable.
Die. We don't have to slowly die from here. We can go and live. One of the things that makes me realize like I am turned back on is I just saw a ballroom dancer on some TikTok, and my brain was like, I wonder if ballroom dancing is in my life. Like, I've never ballroom danced in my life, but I'm dreaming again. I have hope again. I'm thinking like a 15-year-old that I'm like, maybe I'll be a ballroom dancer someday.
Yeah.
That's when you know.
Like in future, the thought of future thinking, like future planning, that tends to go away as people get older. I wonder if it's related to hormones. That's a fascinating thing to think about. But it's like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's a sign of life.
Desire, somebody said, when you have no desire and no passion, it really is, you have to be able to stay in your body and want to live. That is desire and wanting and passion. It's why you're living. So if you lose passion, desire, and wanting, you really aren't living. Yeah.
I think, you know, again, going back to like libido is more than just wanting somebody's naked body on your body. Like, that's some of it.
Yeah.
But like, it is a lot more of that. Like, it doesn't exist in a bubble. And what do you want in life? What do you want for the future? That's all, like, that wanting, that desiring, that is a libido as well.
Definitely.
I love it. You guys, thank you so much for sharing it. Like, this episode, I actually, like, people are like, why do you keep showing up? And I'm like, because I saved marriages. And I'm like, I didn't save your marriage, but it's like, people have there are success stories, especially if you're surrounded with friends that like their relationship isn't going well, and you just think that this is how it's like, no, there's success stories and like love stories, and it's just like so wonderful. And thank you for sharing yours with us today and letting people know that it's okay to get help and adjust things and learn how to feel feelings in your 40s.
Yes.
And I'm honored that you came on.
Thanks for having us
so much, Kelly. I love the work you do, and if anyone needs some extra support, I mean, I'm sure I'll add all the notes, but they can always find me at wakeherup.co.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.